Hello everyone, I'm David Lindsay, professional speaker and integrated health and vitality expert. Today we're embarking on a journey together, a journey to navigate stress and build enhanced resilience through the stress response model. But before we dive in, let's take a moment to understand why this topic is so crucial. Whether you like it or not, stress is an unavoidable part of life, something that we all experience. But the key to overcoming its challenges lies in understanding it. Today, we'll explore the intricate dance between our psychological and our physiological responses to stress. So buckle in, because we're about to uncover the secrets to resilience. Understanding stress. Firstly is the physiological aspects of stress. Let's kick off by delving into the fascinating world of the body's stress response system. Picture it as your body's own superhero, gearing up to face imminent challenges. First, let's break down the relationships between stress hormones, specifically cortisol and adrenaline, and their impact on the nervous system, cardiovascular system, and the immune system, with a focus on how chronic stress can have a double-edged effect on resilience. Firstly, we have cortisol and adrenaline. First, let's look at cortisol, which is produced by the adrenal glands, and cortisol is often referred to as the stress hormone. It plays a crucial role in the body's response to stress by regulating various functions, including metabolism, your immune response, and blood pressure. Now, let's look at adrenaline, which is also known as epinephrine. This is also produced by the adrenal glands. Adrenaline is another key stress hormone. It is responsible for the fight or flight response, preparing the body to quickly respond to a perceived threat by increasing your heart rate, dilating airways, and redirecting blood flow to vital organs. Secondly, we have your nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system. Both cortisol and adrenaline activate the sympathetic nervous system by triggering the fight or flight response. This prepares the body to face a threat by increasing alertness, sharpening focus, and providing a burst of energy. Third, you have your cardiovascular system and the short-term effects. In response to stress, adrenaline increases your heart rate and blood pressure, redirecting blood flow to the vital organs and to the muscles to prepare it for action. These short-term challenges are essential for dealing with immediate threats. Long-term effects. Chronic exposure to cortisol and adrenaline levels can lead to long-term cardiovascular issues such as hypertension or high blood pressure, which can increase the risk of heart disease. Fourth, we have your immune system. Short-term effects. Stress hormones initially boost the immune system, helping the body to prepare for potential injury or infection during these stressful events. Long-term effects. Prolonged exposure to elevated cortisol levels can suppress the immune system, making the body more susceptible to infections and illnesses. This is why chronic stress is associated with a weaker immune response. Fifth, we have the double-edged sword of chronic stress, the positive aspects. In acute situations, the stress response is adaptive, helping the body to cope with immediate challenges. However, when stress becomes chronic, with persistently elevated cortisol and adrenaline levels, the body systems may become overworked and dysregulated. Negative consequences. Chronic stress has been linked to a range of health issues, including mental health disorders, cardiovascular diseases, and immune system dysfunction. It can also contribute to decreased resilience, making it more difficult for individuals to bounce back from life's inevitable challenges. Secondly, we have the psychological aspects of stress. Stress isn't just a physical phenomenon. It's a powerful force that influences our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors. Today, let's uncover the intricate interplay of stress beyond the surface level. We'll explore cognitive responses, the way that we perceive and appraise stresses. It's in these psychological nuances that stress takes on a unique form for each and every one of us. The stress response model. Make sure that you brace yourself for the stress response model, a framework that provides us with insights into our journey through stress. It's like a roadmap with 3 distinct phases: alarm, resistance, and exhaustion. The stress response model, also known as the General Adaptation Syndrome, GAS, was first proposed by Hans Seelen, a Hungarian endocrinologist in the mid-20th century. It describes the body's physiological response to stresses, which are situations or events that are perceived as threatening or demanding. The model consists of 3 main phases: alarm, resistance, and exhaustion. First is the alarm phase, the trigger. This phase is initiated when the body recognizes a stressor. The stressors could be anything perceived as a threat, such as physical danger, emotional stress, or challenging situations. The body's response. The body activates the fight or flight response. This involves the release of stress hormones, particularly adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones prepare the body for quick action by increasing heart rate, increasing blood pressure, and increasing alertness. Energy is mobilized to deal with immediate stresses. Effects. In this phase, the body is on high alert, ready to respond to the perceived threat. Physiological changes are rapid and general towards survival. Secondly, we have the resistance phase. Duration. If the stressor persists beyond the initial alarm phase, the body enters the resistance. The body's response. The body attempts to adapt to ongoing stress. Hormone levels may remain elevated, but the body's initial burst of energy starts to wane. At this stage, the body tries to cope with the stressor, and various physiological systems maintain to work this equilibrium to maintain the balance. Effects. The body is still functioning at an elevated level, but resources are being consumed more steadily. If the stressor is chronic, there's a risk of depleting the body's resources completely, which leads us to the 3rd phase, which is the exhaustion phase. If the stressor persists for an extended period without relief, or if additional stresses are added on top, the body may enter the exhaustion phase. The body's response. The body's resources become depleted, and the ability to cope with stress diminishes dramatically. Hormone levels may drop below the normal level, and the body's physiological systems may start to dysfunction. Effects. This phase can lead to various health issues, both physically and mentally. Chronic stress without adequate recovery can contribute to conditions such as burnout, anxiety, depression, and many physical health problems. Understanding the signals. Our bodies are fantastic machines. We have to learn to listen and respond to the signals that they put out. These include physical symptoms. So pay attention to physical changes like increased heart rate, muscle tension, and changes in breathing. Emotional signs. Stress can manifest as feelings of distress, of anxiety, of irritability, or even sadness. Cognitive changes. Difficulty concentrating, memory problems, or racing thoughts may indicate excess stress levels. Behavioral changes. Changes in sleep patterns, in appetite, or the increased use of substances such as alcohol or tobacco can be signs of stress.